Hi everyone, Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and we have new information regarding iPhone 17 Pro, iPhone Fold, as well as iOS 26 Beta 3 and more. This is your news update for July 2nd, 2025. Now, when it comes to the iPhone 17 Pro, we are less than 3 months away from seeing those devices. In fact, we're only 2 months away from seeing those iPhones. We've been hearing leaks and rumors about the iPhone 17 for the past year, and I believe it is possible that the Apple logo can move just a little bit more down, to have some updates to MagSafe, so we can see Apple move the iPhone 17 Pro yet again. And here is a picture of the iPhone 17 Pro with it running iOS 26. So we can see Apple move the Apple logo in the iPhone 17 Pro. Also, one of the dummy units, they now have more colors for the iPhone 17 Pro. I believe there's a black and a blue, sort of deep blue color. I believe I've seen that on TikTok and other videos for the iPhone 17 dummy model. And the iPhone 17 Air is still expected to have that sort of camera tray across the top. Every iPhone is getting the camera tray except the 17 base model. The 17 Air, 17 Pro, and 17 Pro Max are all getting the camera tray. But the iPhone 17 is looking like the regular iPhone 16, except with 120 hertz ProMotion. All iPhone 17 models, no matter which one you have, the regular, the Air, the Pro, or the Pro Max, are all getting 120 hertz ProMotion. One thing I hope that they do is bring the always-on display to all iPhone 17 models. And that includes the regular iPhone 17. Since it now has 120 hertz ProMotion, I hope that the always-on display now comes to all models. Now, it is also rumored that we can see a folding iPhone, and this is something that we can see in the beginning of next year, 2026. Now, we can see this sometime in 2026. If we see it release in the first half of the year, then I think Apple is going to call it iPhone Fold first generation. However, if we see it release in the second half of 2026, then I think Apple will call it the iPhone 17 or iPhone 18 Fold. It'll be a lineup in the iPhone 18. So we're going to have the iPhone 18, iPhone 18 Air, iPhone 18 Pro, and iPhone 18 Pro Max, and also the iPhone 18 Fold. We're going to have 5 different iPhones if they release that at the end of next year. But if they release that at the beginning, then I believe it's going to be iPhone Fold first generation. Or maybe they'll call it iPhone 17 Fold. I'm not really sure, but I am excited to see what this could look like. At first, I didn't really know what to think, as I don't really look at folding iPhones that much. But I am somewhat excited for the iPhone 17, or iPhone Fold rather. And it is rumored that the iPhone Fold could have 2 48 megapixel cameras on the back of that device. I'm not sure how many apertures they would be, but we could see 2 48 megapixel cameras on the back of the iPhone Fold, dynamic island, and I believe always on display, as it should have 120 hertz ProMotion. We can also see new AirTags 2 get released in a couple months, I believe in mid-September. Now, as far as updates from Apple, well, I believe Monday, a couple days ago, we get iOS 18.6 Beta 2. Again, quite a small update, nothing in it, no new features, just bug fixes and improvements. Now, what's disappointing is we still don't have iOS 18.5.1. I am not even sure what's going on with that update, if we're even going to get that update, but Apple hasn't updated 18.5. I would like to see 18.5.1, maybe to fix bugs in 18.5, and we usually get a double point update with mostly every iOS update, so I have to say that this is unlike Apple for us to not have a double point update. But there is always possibility that we could see it, as I won't expect iOS 18.6 to release if we get beta 3 and then move on to a weekly release, and then beta 4. No, I think we're going to see beta 3 next week. I think from beta 1 to beta 2, it's 2 weeks. But since this probably is going to be 4 betas and we have to have it in that window plus DRC of July, I would expect beta 2 probably on Tuesday, July 8th. Because on Monday, July 7th, I would expect iOS 26 beta 3. Then on July 14th, the public beta. I would expect the public beta of iOS 26. And along with that, then the next couple days after that, at least the 15th or 16th, I would expect iOS 18.6 beta 4 with an RC on the 21st or 22nd, and have a final release of iOS 18.6 on Monday, July 28th. If these next couple of betas are still going to be minor, I'm not really sure what I'm going to cover in my What's New video. I'm probably just going to go over performance, maybe cover some Apple announcements if we don't get any new features, or if we do, I will be sure to cover them in my video. Now, we can have betas for iOS 26 public beta and developer beta all throughout July and August. It is possible that we could have an iOS 18.7, but if we do get that update, we will have the option to update to either iOS 26 or iOS 18.7. And that's to stay on iOS 18, especially for iPhones like the iPhone XR, XS, and XS Max that unfortunately cannot get iOS 26. Those iPhones will be getting iOS 18.7 and will be staying on 18.7 and getting security updates for years to come. Now, it is also possible that we could see an M5 iPad Pro. We can see an updated iPad Pro with an M5 chip. Now, I would assume that that would release either at the end of this year or probably the beginning of next. But I believe the M4 iPad Pro got released last year in 2024. So we could see a new iPad Pro later this year, the beginning of next. It's really hard to say at this point for sure when we would see that device, but we can see it at some point. As far as what to expect next from Apple, well, that's really most of all the news. We can see some updates from Apple, new folding iPhones, and some releases like iOS 26 Beta 3 and 18.6 Beta 3. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech. And if you did enjoy it, like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm looking forward to the iOS 26 public beta. I'm not sure if I will be installing that. It really depends on if I get to upgrade my iPhone, but also keep this 12. If I do, then you will see me install the public beta, as I'll have another iPhone to run stably on iOS 18. I'm Mr. Hawkins with Hawkins Tech, and I'll see you guys later.